Now, my question for you, have you seen this affect anything? Because as of right now, it's January 24th. I really haven't seen that much of a difference. Granted, we are in the middle of the winter time. We're in a polar vortex right now. People aren't transacting as much. So we are in a pretty dead season real estate wise. But have you seen any sort of changes, anything happening, since those rules have been changed?
Yeah. So I was on a call last night with a gentleman that's buying a place in the West End here, a condo, and it's the perfect storm for him. Really strong income over 300,000. I think he firmed up a deal last night on a 115 kind of price point, and so in that range. And so this has worked out perfectly for him, where he's got a little bit more than the minimum down. He's going to put down, 10%. So 115,000 he's putting down, but it just, to your point, as far as like whether they should or shouldn't do it, when you really break down the math, like if someone's living in a rental today, that's kind of pretty nice. Like it's probably $4 or $5,000 a month, right? And
Mhm.
so 60,000, 48 to $60,000 going out for the cost of living. And then how long is it going to take them to save up 100 grand? So that could be 3 years to save up 100 grand if you're saving, $33,000 a year. And so you take that rent and you take the 33,000 they got to save every year. Well, that's 3 years of time that's kind of gone by in their life, of waiting to get to that threshold. And so it does help some clients. We don't want people to feel stretched. So as long as the payments are good, that's important. And then people like yourselves putting people in the right property that's going to give them value, make them feel good. And they're not going to be calling you, in 2, 3 years saying, oh, it's too small, it's too this, and having to move. And that's where you guys are so good, in understanding your clients' needs and putting them in the right
Oh
property
man, thank you. Thank
that's
you.
long
Thank you
term.
so much. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. We're just so good. No, I always tell my clients, like, regardless of what you can afford, of like, I send you a bunch of people, Dave and I do a bunch of work together. But I always tell them, like, don't stretch yourself too thin, like it's one thing to be able to afford something, it's another thing to actually make those payments every month. So even if you can afford up to 1.2 to 1.5, I would still look at, slightly cheaper options because right now there's so much inventory that you could probably get a good deal on something a little bit cheaper than, again, depending on what you're looking for.